our last storyteller for the evening. He has spent a number of years in the Orient and offering service to others. He now lives in a community here in Madison County. And he is the brand new president of the Asheville Storytelling Circle. So let's welcome Dada Maheshvarananda.
It's February 16, 1986. I'm in Luneta Park, the largest park in the middle of Manila, Philippines. There are 1 million people there. Never in my life have I seen 1 million people, ever. It's a sea of people that fills every inch of this enormous park, and all the streets leading up to the park, and all the rooftops and windows of all the buildings overlooking the park. I've been in the Philippines for 5 years. I'm a monk working with Ananda Marga Yoga Association. I teach yoga and meditation, and I help organize social service projects. We open kindergartens, free kindergartens in slums. We run regular medical missions in different villages. And when there are disasters, we do disaster relief. I love my work. I love the people. I love the country. But there's a terrible evil gripping this country. It's the dictator, President Ferdinand Marcos. Filipinos say Marcos has the 3 G's. The first letter G stands for guns. He controls the entire military and all the police forces of the country. The second G stands for gold. Soon, the Guinness Book of World Records will record Ferdinand Marcos as the greatest thief in history, having stolen between $5 to $10 billion from the country. And the third G, the Filipinos say he has, are goons, which means ruthless gangsters. In the 21 years he's been president, they've murdered 4,000 people. They've imprisoned 70,000 people and tortured half of them. He's all powerful. There's no way to remove him from power. I'm safe. I'm a white American monk. But I know that if I or anyone in our organization says one word against the president, we'll be banned immediately, and every foreigner like me will be deported. The 1 million people have come that day because of Cory Aquino. She's the widow of the opposition leader, Ninoy Aquino, who was murdered, one of those 4,000 people, by Marcos's men. She has run a campaign to be president against Marcos. He cheated. Soldiers came in and physically stole ballot boxes. They printed more ballots. And the women who were working in the computer terminal center counting the election results, 23 of them after 3 days suddenly stood up, walked out, afraid for their lives because they'd been ordered to cheat, and they told the journalists this. Still, Marcos declared he's victorious. These 1 million people have come that day to celebrate the moral victory Koryakino. I see the flags in the crowd. These are created by members of my Ananda Marga organization and activists. I wind my way through these crowded people. And just as I'm getting up to where my friends are, another monk from our organization comes in front. He's Dada Maheshvarananda from India. He's considered the wisest and most politically astute Dada in our organization, in the world, really. He says to me very seriously, "We have to do something." Sure, but what? We have to chant universal mantra for 24 hours. I look at him. This is how he thinks we're going to stop the corrupt dictator from controlling this country? But I have to admit, I don't have any better ideas. So when the rally ends, I go back to the old yoga house, the old house we're renting in the center of Manila. And I start calling all our members, and I invite them to come the following Saturday at noontime. We'll be singing and dancing in shifts for 24 hours. The mantra is a universal mantra in Sanskrit, Bhavanam Kevalam, which means love is all there is. So they came, about 75 people came, and we started singing and dancing in a circle. And it went something like this. Bhavanam Kevalam, Bhavanam Kevalam, Bhavanam Kevalam, Bhavanam Kevalam. We didn't find out until later what was happening while we were singing in this old house. 3 hours after we started singing, the Minister of Defense of the Philippines, Juan Ponce Enrile, and the second in command of the military, General Fidel Ramos, together decided to quit the government. With a dozen rebel soldiers, just 12, they went to Army Camp Crame, which is also in a central location in Manila, and they called an international press conference. All the international journalists went there, but only one Filipino journalist went, June Keithley, because she worked for Radio Veritas, owned by the Catholic Church, Truth Radio. And the general and the defense minister declared that they were quitting the government because the dictator was corrupt, and they called on other soldiers and leaders to join them. June Keithley gets on the radio, and she's the only voice in the whole country telling what's happening. Everyone's listening. And she invites people to go there. At 9:30 at night, after 9 hours of singing, the head of the Catholic Church in the Philippines, Cardinal Sin, actually gets on the radio and calls on citizens to go there to the entrance of the camp and create a non-violent shield to protect the rebel soldiers. Our 75 Filipino members have all rushed there already. And we foreigners, legally, we keep chanting. Then she gets on the radio and says, "A report has just come that tanks have been seen coming up Edsa Avenue northbound. Please try to go and try to convince them to go back. A mass of people come in front of the tanks. They're arguing with the soldiers on the tanks. The soldiers order them to leave and they don't leave. The soldiers on the tanks have orders to kill the rebels, but not massacre innocent men, women, and children. So eventually, they go back to their base. At 12 o'clock midnight, suddenly the radio goes dead. Where we're chanting, we're flipping the dials. It's not there anymore. Soldiers have gone to the $1 million radio transmission tower and blown it up. So June Keithley gets on the phone and she calls one of our former members who runs a rock station now. Can I come and broadcast from your station? He said, don't tell anybody where you are. He locks them in. They can use the telephones. They immediately connect to Camp Crame again. And the other line, they announce the number so that people can call in and give more reports. She calls it bandit radio. And everybody flipping the dials eventually hears her voice again and again is listening to the news. At midnight, at 5 o'clock in the morning, she gets on the call and she says, attack helicopters are coming. They're going to fly over all the people and they're going to bomb the rebels and end the rebellion. The only thing we can do, she said, is pray. We chant about love. 15 minutes later, she's back on the air. She says, they didn't bomb. They landed. All the pilots of the Philippine Air Force, I repeat, all the pilots of the Philippine Air Force were on those helicopters. They landed to join the rebellion. By noontime, when we were ending our chanting, 500,000 people were in the streets. The danger was over. And a day and a half later, Marcos, his family, and his cronies are fleeing the country aboard U.S. helicopters and jets because his own military has completely abandoned them by that point. I'm in awe of what I've seen. Filipinos coined this term people power. How somehow the people overthrew a dictator who had all the military might of his guns, all the stolen wealth of his gold, and all the ruthless gangsters of his goons. And he's gone. I wonder, is it just these courageous Filipino people who can do this? But in the years that follow, I read how people power overthrows dictators in Haiti, in every country of Eastern Europe, in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Bolivia, in Ecuador, in Yemen, Sudan, Georgia, Kyrgyzstan, Ukraine, Sudan, Yemen, Tunisia, and Libya. It's in every political science book today. But the courage of those people fill my heart with pride. And something else, I wonder if somehow chanting love can somehow have an effect too. The founder of a Ananda Marga, Prabhat Ranjan Sarkar of India. He seemed to understand this because he said the forces opposed to revolution possess immense military power. Even then, the revolutionaries will be successful because moral and spiritual power is infinitely stronger than physical force. Thank you.